Have you guys ever experienced a state where you're just full of adrenaline, emotion, and just all these things wrapped into one? I've experienced that every time I step off a plane. And that's why today I've decided to use my passport to represent me in three ways. One, it reminds me of where I come from. Two, it represents my love of travel and adventure. And three, it represents my family and friends. The way in which my passport represents where I come from is it's a Filipino passport. I'm from the middle of the Philippines, and being Filipino has really shaped who I've become today because of the language and the culture and all these different things that make me who I am today. There are certain things like in the language that when you talk to someone that's Filipino, you just share an instant connection. And it's something that I feel like it's very rare. If I see a Filipino anywhere, you just know exactly who it is by the way they talk, and it's just this love that we share of being Filipino. Second of all, this passport represents my love of travel. I've traveled not across Asia, just a couple countries in Asia, like Korea, China, Japan, and Hong Kong. One of my favorite experiences I've had so far is traveling to the Great Wall of China with a couple of my volleyball and theater friends. I was privileged to go there twice because of my involvement in those activities, but more importantly, just being on top of that wall and like looking out into China. This sounds really cheesy, but looking out into China and just taking it all in, going back to that first moment that I talked about, full of this just adrenaline and rush and like the unknown. It was just an amazing feeling. And thirdly, this passport represents my family and friends. I have a really big family. My dad has over 40 first cousins, and they're spread all over the world. And I get to visit them whenever we can, or whenever they come home. Like I have an uncle that lives in London, and I have someone who lives in Japan and the Middle East. They're just everywhere. And I went to international school, and all my friends are across the globe as well. Like my best friend is in Australia, and I have another best friend who lives in Malta, of all places. So I feel like having this passport makes me part of an international community. It makes me feel like I'm part of a whole. And a wise man once said that the world is a book, and if you don't travel, you're only reading one page. Thank you very much.